Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's stream. And it seems like my microphone is working because I see the little green dots at the bottom of the Google Hangouts windows and everything. But anyway, so tonight I am pretty excited to say that I'm hearing the audio back on YouTube. I just noticed that. Welcome everybody to the stream. We got Duple, we've got Top 10 Life Now, we've got Bryson, Worldwide Roller Coasters, Coaster Pro, Andrew Neely, Dylan DeSimone, Retro Spaceman 123, Pokemaster Wallace, Coaster Box, Ashley Bagan, I Like Roller Coaster Stark Productions, How to Do Stuff in Other Vlogs and Fits, Elliot Earls, Brianna Amosa, and everybody else. So yeah, tonight there isn't a whole lot to talk about. I am planning my Hershey Park trip. I really want to take it in August. I just have to confirm the details with my friend Bill. Hopefully he'll be able to come with me. And here's the thing about Bill. I just found this out the other day. He actually rode Big Bad Wolf before it closed, and I'm so jealous. Finally, someone who can spell my last name right. Yeah, he rode Big Bad Wolf, and I'm like, you rode Big Bad Wolf? You actually got to go to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg? I've never been there before. I'm hoping to go in 2018 because they're having CoasterCon there. It's going to be held at Kings Dominion, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and Six Flags America. So that's going to be pretty cool. And the 2019 CoasterCon is going to be held at Knott's Berry Farm and Six Flags Magic Mountain. So I'm wondering if, like, for CoasterCon, there's going to be any, like, ERT at Magic Mountain. That'll be so convenient. I would love to head on down there and hit up those rides because there's, like, 19 of them. Some of them I don't think I can get on, like the Magic Flyer. I think that you can't be, like, an adult. You have to have a kid with you. But other than that, there's still a ton of coasters there that I'd like to get. So I'm taking a look at the chat right now. And it's asking, are you going to Six Flags New England on August 4th? I'm not sure. It's always like sort of sudden when I decide to go to Six Flags New England because it is my home park. I try to announce it when I can. But I really never know when I'm going to go down there. What I do know is that tomorrow I'm going to be having my first meetup at Lake Compound, so that's pretty exciting. I've got a few people that are going to head down. Even if not a lot of people show up, that's fine. I'd still like to meet, whoever does show up. Because it's pretty tough nowadays. Everyone's doing their own thing. So it's pretty tough to, like, organize meetups because pretty much a lot of people want to go, but they can't because it's YouTube after all. I mean, one person could be in Washington, another person could be in California. I'm wondering what state you all are in because I know I have a lot of Ohio fans. I know I have a lot of California fans, Texas fans. I even have a lot of Wisconsin fans too, a lot of fans from the Dells. If you're from the Wisconsin Dells, let me know because I'd like to know what state you're from. Got New Jersey, Georgia, Ohio, Missouri, California, New York, Virginia, Florida, Georgia, Pennsylvania. Wow, that a great variety. I'm like, the cool thing about YouTube is that you get to reach people from all across the country and all across the world. I have a few viewers from the Netherlands, which is pretty awesome. I have a few viewers from the United Kingdom, like McPizza Person. He was really kind enough to let me use his footage of the Vekoma family boomerang from, I think it was Drayton Manor. So that was pretty cool. And you live in Massachusetts and you live in Oklahoma. Nice. So you get to go to, Ethan Sexton, have you ever been to Frontier City? And if you have, how was Diamondback? That's one of only 3 aero launch loops left in the country. So it doesn't matter where you live. I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed to get some kind of rare credit no matter where you go. In fact, a lot of these rare credits are in places that, like, are pretty hard to get to. That's pretty cool. Oh, Bill's. Oh. Now, good job with the bat is still there. And the former coasters, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. So yeah, I posted my Busch Gardens Williamsburg video today, so that was pretty exciting. Got quite a few views in a short amount of time. Because I know that my Busch Gardens video, that was one of my most requested videos that I did because of Big Bad Wolf and Drachenfear. Yeah, I actually pronounced it the German way in the video, which I don't think that anybody in the park ever pronounced it like that. And you say Diamondback is okay. So yeah, okay is better than terrible. I heard Drachenfear was terrible though. It's like, I heard it was even worse than Great American Scream Machine, because Great American Scream Machine, I mean, at least that had historical significance. It didn't open in 1992. It opened in like the late 70s. So no, actually it opened the late 80s, 1989. My brain kind of just had a spasm there. So yeah, I mean, when it opened, people could tolerate something like that. And I also heard that Drachenfear was rushed. Yeah, I misspelled it. 10 Farmer coasters. Yeah, when I first published the video today, I actually misspelled the title. And it was up for like 3 hours. I spelled former without the R. It was just Farmer. I think what it was is that, if I can show you what I have over here. It was late at night and I was getting ready for bed, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to schedule this to come out. And so what I did was, from my bed, I actually used this keyboard. It was like $10. It also has like a little trackpad on it. I used this keyboard to type in the title, and I could only imagine like it didn't register. Maybe the letter R just didn't register. So that kind of explains why the title was misspelled earlier. Do you think Logan will come in the chat? I'm not sure. I don't know what Logan's doing right now. I mean, he's pretty busy. Like, he's been traveling to all sorts of different parks, and like, you know, he's got this channel to go. He does stop by every now and then, which I'm honestly honored that he like would dedicate his time to stop by my channel for these live streams. They're pretty fun. Matthew Henderson, welcome to the chat. Hershey Park, yeah. Actually, I am definitely 100% going to Six Flags Great Adventure on September 10th, I believe. No, the 9th. That is when the Riding of the Bull Ace event is. And I'm going to be there, and if anybody wants to come and meet me, feel free. I'll be, like, constantly hitting up El Toro. Yes, once again, September 9th, Riding of the Bull. I like roller coasters. My 50th credit was my least favorite coaster, Viper at Darien Lake. Well, there's really, I mean, it doesn't really have to be like a big like coaster, like your 50th or your 100th credit. I mean, it just as long as just being able to say that you've ridden so many roller coasters, that's great enough on its own. Of course, I'd like to try to make sure that I like my 100th. I was a bit concerned when I rode Untamed that it was going to be bad, because I heard a couple people tell me that it was rough and there was a lot of headbanging, but fortunately I ended up liking it a lot. So yeah, definitely glad to have that as my 100th credit. So Dougal, you're heading to Busch Gardens, Tampa for the first time next Saturday. Be prepared. Of course, Saturday is the most popular day to go. They have a pretty affordable fast pass system, but you can only get on one ride, one of each ride per fast pass. So just be aware of that. It's going to be pretty busy, I'm guessing. I mean, it is July, but of course, if it rains, then it won't be that. Jacob Fisher, to follow up your Busch Gardens Williamsburg video, if Drachenfear, I'll just call it Drachenfear from now on. If Drachenfear was built as a B&M coaster, what type would it be? It would probably be a sit-down, because I know that Kumba was a sit-down. That was built shortly after Drachenfear. But, like, there's no real way of knowing, just that they were contracted to make a coaster. It could have been an invert. Like, I know that they were working hard on Batman the Ride at the time, and so that ended up being successful. Clearly, we see it like at pretty much every Six Flags park out there. Well, except Six Flags New England. Our Batman ride is a floorless coaster, which is pretty interesting. We have an SLC instead, but oh well, in terms of inverted coasters. What am I planning for my next video? Well, Retro Spaceman 123, I am planning on either doing a former attractions at Universal Orlando or a former coasters of Astroworld. And I actually got this other suggestion from a Coaster Box. He actually suggested I do a video on the former coasters of Rocky Point, Rhode Island. That's a pretty interesting park. I did some information. They had a lot of former roller coasters, and I'm certainly going to plan that. I'm going to put that in the upcoming video pile. And follow my Instagram page, because whenever I start to work on a former coasters video, I will tease it on my Instagram page. So that's pretty exciting. Ashley Bagan, yeah, have a good night. It was good seeing you again. Come to the chat whenever you'd like. And I like roller coasters. You're heading off too. Well, have a great night. And of course, Six Flags Over Georgia. Now they have another former coaster now that their Cyclone is closing. So now it'll be the 5 former coasters at Six Flags Over Georgia. So there's a pretty good shot that I'll get around to that sooner than you think, because it actually placed pretty low in the poll that I did. It only placed above Blackpool Pleasure Beach in terms of the poll I did on my website. And so I believe it was, first place was Busch Gardens Williamsburg. And second place was Astroworld. Third was Alton Towers. Fourth was Six Flags New Orleans. Fifth was Over Georgia. And sixth was, of course, Blackpool Pleasure Beach. But I'm still looking forward to doing all of those videos. And clearly, there are the most popular videos on my channel. There's something about hearing about the park's former attractions that just fascinates people. And the really interesting thing is, when I look at the analytics, I see like all of the people that watch it. And usually when I do a video about a specific state's park, most of the video views will be from that state. So that's pretty interesting. So I expect when I do Astroworld, I'm going to get a lot of views from Texas. So I know I have a few Texas fans out there. I haven't really talked about Texas a lot. And before I mention Texas again, I'd like to look at the chat, because I know I got a lot of questions. I like to get to some of them. You're getting your last ride in the Georgia Cyclone on Tuesday. Good for you, Double. Unfortunately, I'm never going to get that credit. So be thankful that you're going to be able to get that credit before it bites the dust. And what are the chances of Cedar Fair to add a B&M, says Taco Lightning? I think it's very, very slim, very slim. As far as I know, B&M doesn't have some kind of unmanufactured coaster model that could fit along the line of a completely new type of coaster. And then the other one is a manufacturer that they haven't worked with in recent history. So B&M they have worked with in recent history, so that's out the window too. I don't think that we're going to be seeing a lot of B&Ms. We might see one. You never know what's going to happen. Six Flags could completely surprise us and announce a B&M in September. But I'm not so sure if we're going to be seeing a lot of B&Ms next year. However, I am super excited for 2018. We're going to be seeing some great RMCs. We might be seeing a new Intamin. We're going to be seeing a new coaster to California's Great America. I'm pretty sure that the other 2 new coasters besides King's Dominion and Cedar Point are going to be California's Great America and Knott's Berry Farm. So all of you California coaster fans, you're in luck next year. John Duffy. Yeah, Jim Reed Anderson is the CEO once again, and he's probably going to be doing the announcement video unless John Duffy already filmed it. But then again, that wouldn't really make sense for one person to leave the company but still do the announcement video. So most likely we're going to be seeing good old Jim Reed Anderson, or Jim Meme Anderson, as Brett D99 is awesome is saying. We're going to be seeing Jim Reed Anderson once again. So that's pretty exciting. But I have no hard feelings against John Duffy. I actually think he's a pretty cool guy. I actually saw him talk. I'm not sure why he left the company. It's probably really, really complicated, but, you know, John Duffy, he's a cool guy. I wouldn't have minded seeing him again for the announcement video, but I am really excited to see Jim Reed Anderson again. He has so much more charisma, like when he does the announcement videos. So yeah, Cedar Fair is announcing California. Yeah, actually August 16th. Yeah, they're going to be announcing all of their additions on August 16th, which is pretty exciting. It's actually National Roller Coaster Day. The reason that they're announcing them on that date is partially because it's National Roller Coaster Day, and partially because it's towards the end of the big summer season. And so people will have already ridden all their big attractions. They would have marketed all their attractions as much as they could. And so naturally, they want to increase season pass sales. That's why they announce them towards August and September. So there's a channel I saw called Jim Reed Anderson. Yeah, I've gotten comments from people claiming to be, well, not claiming to be, they're just joke accounts. Jim Reed Anderson and John Duffy. So that's pretty funny. I like this coaster CEO humor that you guys have going on in the comment section. So anyway, so as I was saying about Texas earlier, there was a rumor earlier this week about supposedly leaked plans for a GCI coming to Fiesta Texas. And at first, when I took a look at them, I believed them. I believed that they were going to be getting it because usually when plans like that leak, they end up coming true. However, I took a closer look. I took a look at the plans for Mystic Timbers, and I noticed that the stamp is the exact same. And not only is it the same stamp, it's in the exact same spot on the paper. And then when I brought it into Photoshop, I noticed that it was completely, like, most of the page was completely unaltered. Like, they only changed, like, maybe they changed the name of the coaster, the year it was coming out, but a lot of the smaller numbers that you wouldn't think to change if this was like your first time trying to do like a hoax, they didn't change. And so I was able to tell quite quickly. And also they photographed their, they probably printed it out and photographed it. I mean, people just do this kind of thing for fun. It was probably some enthusiast or someone claiming to be an enthusiast or maybe a GP member. The GP member. 99% of people I know are GP. That's, I don't know that term. But yeah, whoever it was, clearly they wanted to spread a rumor. But you know, unfortunately, it's not true. I would like, as much as I'd like to see a GCI there, it just didn't fit along the line of what the company said. Like, the owners of Fiesta Texas want to be doing new and innovative rides, and a GCI, while awesome, wouldn't be really new or innovating. And plus the layout, it didn't look logical. So yeah, sorry guys, but Fiesta Texas isn't going to be getting a GCI next year. At least it's very unlikely, and those weren't the plans. So anyway, I'm taking a look at the comments once again. The only free spin coming next year is the one going to Mexico, and Magic Mountains Frisbee are the only clone rides. Brett D99, I'm not sure. I haven't heard about Magic Mountains Frisbee, and I haven't heard of Mexico's free spin. But yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to add next year. I have a really good feeling that they're going to be adding a Skywarp, which is like a figure-8 super loop. It's more of a coaster. I guess some people would consider it like a powered coaster. Some people would consider it a flat ride. It looks a lot like a roller coaster to me, and RMC is doing the track for it. So I just hope they don't put it in like a large capacity park, because rides like that, like they're pretty bad for capacity. I'd suggest they put it in like a smaller Six Flags park. I mean, Fiesta Texas, they could end up getting a Skywarp. I wouldn't call them a small park by any means, but I also wouldn't call them one of the most attended Six Flags parks out there. All right, so RMC GCI, yeah. So Georgia Cyclone, I'm pretty sure is going to get the RMC treatment. And the record, if it's going to break a record, it's most likely going to be the most inversions on a hybrid coaster. All they need is 4. And that's really not a hard record to break. From what I've heard, the RMC Hurler is going to have 3. RMC Mean Streak is going to have at least 3. We don't know if it's going to have any more, but I think at least 3 inversions have been confirmed so far for RMC Mean Streak. So, you know, I'm not sure how they would fit 4 inversions in a small layout, but, you know, Alan Schilke and RMC could do their magic. RMC Gwazi 2019. Yeah, the thing about Gwazi, and what's really interesting, is that because of its location in the park, I've heard a few theories. One theory is that they don't want to, because Busch Gardens Tampa is a year-round park, they don't want to start tearing down the coaster and making a bunch of noise and like disrupt the guests. That's what I've heard. That's one theory. But another theory I've heard is that the the coaster kind of like, I mean, it gets really humid in Florida. And as you can imagine, humidity isn't kind to wood. And so they're not really sure if they can like really make it over. But I'm guessing if RMC Mean Streak does well enough and if they can make it over, I'm guessing they will eventually. Next year, I've heard that they're going to enclose Sand Serpent, which is their Mac Wild Mouse. And they got Cobra's Curse they just got Cobra's Curse last year. So I'm guessing maybe around 2019, 2020, Tampa will see a new coaster there. Let's see. It's rumored RMC Mean Streak is going to have foreign versions. So that's pretty impressive. It would be funny if Six Flags made their announcement and they claimed it was going to, well, it would actually tie the record with Mean Streak. So technically they would have the record for the most inversions on a hybrid coaster. They just wouldn't be the only company to hold that record. They could share the record with Mean Streak. So keep an eye out for that. See if they have any shared records in there. And I'm going to be releasing my Cedar Fair or Six Flags predictions video very soon. I'm still working on it because next year is pretty unpredictable for some parks. I know that Cedar Point is getting RMC Mean Streak. I know that King's Dominion is getting RMC Hurler. I know that California's Great America is getting something, but for the other parks, I'm not so sure. I know that Carowinds actually removed their Flume ride this year. They took it between 2016 2017 off season, so they could put like a water park expansion in there. Maybe they could put. I'm not sure if they have a mat racer. I didn't get to go to Carowinds water park because I went in the spring and it was closed, so I didn't get to check out the water park there. But we could very well be seeing like a water park expansion at Carowinds in the place of that old Flume ride. Maybe like a small compact water coaster or a tall trapdoor slide. But let's see. Fiesta Texas removed their, yeah, Fiesta Texas did remove their Flume. And yeah, they could put something there. And Knott's, as for Knott's, they could also, I mean, obviously they removed Boomerang. And so we don't know what they're putting there. Some people are saying, oh, well, it could be a Eurofighter. Eurofighters tend to go to smaller parks because they have smaller capacity. And the same thing with the Raptor to an extent. But I remember seeing a video advertising the Raptor, and it's saying it could go to small parks or big parks that are looking for big thrills in small spaces. So the company or whoever advertised it, I don't know, but whoever advertised it clearly is saying, you know what, big parks, you can order this too. So who knows, we could see the Raptor go there. But most likely, I'm guessing the Raptor is going to be going to California's Great America because SR1, I heard a theory that it's single rail one. The Chainsmokers. I don't know if you're actually the Chainsmokers. Funny story. One of my friends, her name is Carrie. She actually went to college with the Chainsmokers. She was actually roommates with them. And I'm not making this story up just to be funny. This is at least that's what she told me. So I'm just going off of her words that she was roommates with the Chainsmokers when she was in college in Long Island because that's where they're from. But anyway, got quite a few coaster. Is Silverwood getting a Raptor or T-Rex track? I'm not 100% sure what Silverwood is getting. They are a smaller park. They're in the same state as RMC. RMC is based out of Idaho. Silverwood is in Idaho. I heard Silverwood is a fantastic park. Silverwood is a fantastic park. But yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to get next year. It could really be anything. Yeah, Daredevil Dive and Mystery Mine. Yeah, those are two exceptions when it comes to the Eurofighters going into like bigger parks. We do see them go to bigger parks like Six Flags over Georgia and Dollywood. But for the most part, we do tend to see them at smaller parks. Like I was just at Canopy Lake Park. They had one. They have one at Casino Pier. And, you know. So what do you think Six Flags New England will get in 2018? I'm guessing that they're going to be getting some kind of flat ride. It could be a Frisbee, but I mean, they have Tomahawk, but that's a much smaller flat ride than like a giant Frisbee. They could get a Justice League ride. They could surprise us, but I haven't seen any permits filed for it. And also keep in mind that they previously tried to build an indoor coaster there and they couldn't get the permits from the city of Agawam. So I'm guessing for some reason, Agawam let them build a 410-foot skyscraper, but they wouldn't let them build an indoor Wild Mouse coaster. So I don't know where it went wrong. Maybe Six Flags just didn't get the permits. That ride ended up going to Mexico. But yeah, I'm not sure what New England is getting. I really have to look into it, what kind of additions the park could get. And I don't think they'd be getting a Skywarp because they already have a Fireball, and that would be way too much like Fireball. Yeah, that's what I heard. Discovery Kingdom has 2 Frisbee-type rides, so we could be seeing a giant Frisbee at Six Flags New England. But who knows? All right, so Kennywood should have gotten a Eurofighter instead of a Skyrocket. Yeah, I just find that fascinating that the Skyrocket 1 is at Kennywood, and that I think it was like I think it's their newest coaster. I know that they're rumored to be getting something next year, but I haven't really heard a lot about it. I've heard a lot about Silver Dollar Cities Edition. It's most likely going to be a Max Spinner. It's going to be Time Traveler. I've been keeping up with, I get my news off of the Roller Coasters Reddit, which is like my go-to source for coaster news, theme park news, all that stuff. As seen in Revere, Massachusetts today, or Maine. Oh, Revere Beach. I've never heard of that ride. I'm guessing it's a display piece. And anyway, Six Flags New England should put a Zamperla Frisbee in place of Tomahawk. Yeah, they could do that, but I don't know if there's enough space for the coaster to swing back and forth. It's in a pretty tight spot back there. It's like right behind, like it's behind Wicked Cyclone. It's a decent enough distance from it. It's also got Houdini right next to it, and there's the road that's also right next to it. So you don't want the Frisbee going up over the road and people dropping stuff onto cars below. That would just be really problematic. You're thinking of starting a roller coaster YouTube channel, Dougal. Well, I say best of luck and go for it. Decide what kind of videos you want to put out and, you know, just do it. Theme Park Crazy, have you ridden the Ferris wheel in National Harbor? I don't think that I have. I have not. Let's see. I'm taking a look at the other questions we've got here. I hope Gerstlauer and Six Flags make up sometime soon. Still holding grudge from 2013. Yeah, Gerstlauer made the train. For those of you that don't know, Gerstlauer made the trains for the new Texas Giant. And there was an incident like around maybe a couple years after the ride opened, like in 2013. This woman, the operators didn't strap her in enough, and she ended up falling out of the ride, and she unfortunately died. So Six Flags decided that they found Gerstlauer somewhat at fault. I'm not sure how, because it was more of an operator error. Like the woman, she didn't fit the requirements of the ride. So yeah, that's kind of an interesting story. I don't know if Six Flags is going to be working with Gerstlauer, but yeah, they could in the future. But I don't see that happening really soon. I see Gerstlauer working more likely to work with Cedar Fair or a smaller park. Do you think Dragon Challenge would be removed from Islands of Adventure? Well, Retro Spaceman 123, I think that it is possible. But if they do remove it, I already got the credit. I wrote it when it was dueling back in 2011. And I don't mean to, that sounded like I was bragging, but like, I really don't mean to brag about it. I mean, either way, you would have still ridden both coasters. So yeah, I rode both sides of Dragon Challenge. If they do decide to get rid of it and replace it with some kind of Forbidden Forest ride, I just hope that it wouldn't completely rely on screens, because I've noticed lately that Universal Studios has been leaning a lot towards 3D screen-based attractions, and I'm not too crazy about them. I mean, Skull Island was kind of fun, but I found Skull Island to be much better when you weren't actually looking at the screens, when you were looking towards the front of the truck. It was pretty immersive. The 3D was pretty well done, and also that Kong animatronic at the end was like one of the best animatronics I've ever seen. But yeah, I wasn't too crazy about it. I mean, I raved about it when I first wrote it, because I was writing for a website, and I was excited to be there. But now that I think about it, I really didn't care for Skull Island. I don't care for these screen-based attractions. Hopefully, I know that the new Fast and Furious attraction, that's going to be pretty much screen-based too. But I'm thinking that with all these amazing attractions that Disney announced, and with their 2.5D Mickey ride that they're planning, Universal is probably going to need to step up their game. Less screens, definitely. People are going to grow tired of screens and wearing 3D glasses. Let's see. How do you handle indie horror games? I wouldn't really consider myself to be that much of a gamer. If I did, I do look like I look like I could easily go on the bottom of like one of those indie horror game screens, like, and do like forced reactions. But yeah, that's not this kind of channel. Adam Cruz. Oh, Adam Cruz, welcome to the chat. Yeah, I actually met Adam Cruz at Six Flags New England. You just read King of Ka last weekend. Awesome. Yeah, I agree. I got to write it in the front row, because from what I've heard, the front row is like the only way to go with King of Ka. I wrote it in the back last year, which was kind of a mistake, because I didn't completely care for it. I still had fun, but front row for King of Ka, I really do have to try that. Let's see. RMC. Ooh. Just taking a look at the comments right now, because whenever I do one of these streams, I get a lot of comments at once. So it can often be pretty challenging to sort through them. Am I doing trivia tonight? Yes, I am doing trivia tonight. I actually have some questions, some coaster names right here with me. I have them in a notepad window. And I could actually start the trivia right now if you'd like. Some of these are pretty tough. So, yeah, especially the last few. All right, so if anybody can tell me where Griffin is. So that's Griffin. OMG behind you. All right. The ghost is here again. I actually do not see the ghost. You know, it could just be a lens, like a flare on the lens or something. All right, so we've got a few answers already. J-Man X360, Coaster Pro, DC Fan. Oh, it just scrolled all the way down. You got to love it when it does that. DC Fan 8191369. I like roller coasters. Dylan DeSimone, Benjamin Kennedy, Top 10 Life Now. So yeah, congratulations. Let's see. Yeah, so apparently people are saying that the ghost is still here. I'm not seeing a ghost. Like, I'm taking a look at the camera right now, because I have to get out of the way in order to see the what's appearing on the camera. So I don't see a ghost. It could just be the digitization or the reflection in the painting. Painting. I wish I could paint something like that. Yeah, so if anybody could tell me where the ghost is, feel free to let me know. It could just be a reflection of some sort. The bat. Okay, so a bunch of people are giving me comments saying you made it was a joke. Oh, it was a joke. Because I never know, because a couple of weeks ago I did a stream out of Cape Cod. Well, actually it was last week. So yeah, I did a stream out of Cape Cod. And there was actually something that looked like a ghost in the window there. So that's like that's a nice little inside joke. The white spots on the white spots in the wall back there. There actually used to be a TV mounted there. I actually use this as my TV now. I've got a flat screen computer monitor and stuff. That was back all the way like back when I had like one of those big analog TVs. It was hung up there, and I really should paint over those white spots. And I also need to get a new chair. RIP TV. I don't know where. I think that TV is downstairs somewhere right now, but realistically, I don't think a lot of people are going to want a tiny square TV. Like, what use does it have nowadays? Like, unless you're going to put it in like a bunker or something. You went to Volcano Bay today and the lines were insane. Yeah, I could imagine. The line, I mean, it is July. It is super hot in Orlando. And I'm actually hoping if I get around to IAPA in November, I could go then. Maybe it'll be less crowded, but maybe it would be more. It really would depend on when IAPA would be held. If it's going to be held like near Thanksgiving, I'm guessing it is going to be crowded, but really, I don't know. Let's see. Do I think that Predator will be RMC'd at Darien Lake? Well, anything is possible. Darien Lake is definitely a smaller park. They focus more on their concerts than, their rides, but I've still heard it's a pretty nice place, and you never know, they could end up getting one. And let's see. Yeah, so anyway, I've got a few more trivia questions I'd like to get to them. Yeah, I did forget. I got distracted by the ghost. All right, Sidewinder. Tell me where Sidewinder is. Six Flags should buy Darien Lake again. Who knows? They might not. But Darien Lake, they have a lot of concerts there, like big name concerts, like pretty big singers perform there. So, yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, here we go. And I just remembered there is another roller coaster named Sidewinder. I just made a mistake. So I'm going to take both answers, or any of the answers. There's actually 1, 2, 3. Well, just Sidewinder. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, that's written twice. 5. There's actually 5 roller coasters. Well, one is removed. So there's 4 roller coasters named Sidewinder. So I'm going to take any answers that are correct. So let's see. We've got Coaster Pro, I Like Roller Coasters, Brett D99, Extreme Rides TV, Coaster Box, Squiddy's Newest. Yeah, I was thinking about the one at Hershey, but there's also one in the Lich Garden. So J-Man X360 got it. Yeah. So yeah, let's see. I always like to go back and forth, look at the comments, look back. It can be pretty tricky, though, because oftentimes when I start to scroll down, I miss it, or like I miss someone's comment. And, oh, yeah, Coaster RVN got it, too. So HP. Oh, that's what HP stood for. My bad. I wasn't sure what you meant by that. I thought that was just a typo. Hershey Park. I didn't. Yeah, you actually made the abbreviation HP, which is, of course, Hershey Park. What is the best seat on Montu and Kumba? I love Montu in the front row because it is my favorite. In case you don't know, it's my favorite inverted coaster. Like you just can't beat Montu. Something about it, it's like so surreal. It's like you're flying through Egypt. It's awesome. And yes, I did see what Taylor said about Wicked Cyclone, and I have to agree. I mean, I'm a big Wicked Cyclone fan. So I wouldn't say that I love it more than Superman the Ride. That's a tricky question, though, because Wicked Cyclone is the more intense experience. And I could see why some people would like it better than Superman. But on a classic level, I mean, on a scale-based level, I don't know, something about Superman, I don't know. It's a tough choice. I do lean towards Superman though, but Wicked Cyclone is in my top 10, probably my top 5. I'd have to make the list. How is the new Texas Giant? Well, I'll find out. I'm going to contact my uncle and I'm going to see if he'll let me come down to Dallas because I know he lives down there and I'd like to check out New Texas Giant. It's a massive RMC coaster. There's no inversions, but from what I've heard, it doesn't need them. It provides a ton of great airtime and awesome bank turns. And as for Lightning Rod, funny, I can't actually check if Lightning Rod is open right now, but actually I can on Twitter. But I haven't ridden Lightning Rod. I know my friend Bill really wants to go there to Dollywood. I'm guessing like they're in the period of, you know, on and off maintenance. I mean, this is pretty much a prototype ride. And so as a result, they have a lot of issues with it. They thought they corrected them last time. They're still having issues with it now. But hopefully when I do get around to going there, I'm hoping that I do get to ride it. Let's see. Is it being slowed down? I don't know. Some people have told me it is. A lot of people have told me that it isn't. But you know, you really have to take what people are saying with a grain of salt. Like, don't lament Lightning Rod yet, because I've heard a lot of people say it was awesome. And yeah, I've heard that actually Top Thrill Dragster had like the same issues like the first 2 years it was open. They like it was downtime, and of course Hypersonic XLC had those issues too, but let's hope that Lightning Rod doesn't end up like the XLC. Graph and peach. I just got a graph and a peach emoji. Not sure what that means. Big Bertha gets yeah, Big Bertha. My favorite ride by far is Big Bertha. All Cedar Fair teasers, ideas, or thoughts? Well, I have a strong feeling that RMC Hurler is going to be 111 feet plus. Other than that, I know, like I've said before, I know Mean Streak is coming and I know Hurler is coming. I'd like to be surprised. Like by the time August 16th comes around, we'll all know. So my next question is actually a bit tougher. Tell me where the Canyon Blaster is. RMC Little Bill Giggle Coaster. Yeah, that's actually the Great Pumpkin Coaster now, but it did used to be Little Bill's Giggle Coaster, which is like probably the worst name for a roller coaster, especially nowadays. Oh, there are 3 roller coasters named Canyon Blaster. So I'd like to take any of those names. Let's see. So, yeah, Benjamin Kennedy. Oh, wait, no. Dylan DeSimone, Six Flags Magic Mountain. Coaster Comets Adventure Dome. Coaster Pro Adventure Dome. Yep. J-Man X360 Great Escape, Zach 8870 Adventure Dome, Fitzy Karras Magic Mountain. Yeah, so there are 3 rides named. What I did for this is I went to RCDB and I did the random coaster generator. And somehow I completely forgot that there are 3 different coasters named Canyon Blaster, because that sounds like such a creative name. And yet there's one at Magic Mountain, and then there's one at Great Escape, and finally there's one at the Adventure Dome. Yeah, I'm out of water. Dang it. Do I think Great Adventure will get a coaster anytime soon? Maybe next year, but I'm leaning more towards a Frisbee next year. Batman the Ride. That would be just cruel. Canyon Blaster and Adventure Dome is pretty good. Yeah, I've heard it's pretty cool. Like it's in like the Circus Hotel, and like it's indoors, so it doesn't matter if it rains. So I'm gonna check this next coaster name, make sure that it's not like 5 coasters, because I suddenly have the feeling that it is going to be more than, and actually it's not. It's one and only, so that's good. Tell me where the Psycho Mouse is. This one is a little trickier because it's not a famous or well-loved roller coaster. Why are all the parks announcing on August 16th? Well, all the Cedar Fair ones are. They're probably following Six Flags model, announcing all their additions to, especially they want to announce them to their investors too. All right, coaster comments, you've got it. Benjamin Kennedy, Elliot Earls, Pete Zavala, Guy with a GoPro, and Coaster Pro. California's Great America. That's where Psycho Mouse is. And I'd like to just, I guess, rant a little bit right now. The Wild Mouse coaster at Playland at Rye, New York, that has to be one of the most unstable attractions I've ever ridden. I mean, Superflight, yeah, the Zamperla Volare they have there, it was pretty terrible. But this was just like, I thought it was going to like fall off any second. I literally felt like it was going to fall off the track. I've never ridden a sketchier Wild Mouse coaster than I have at Playland. Never. I've never done that. That's pretty much it. Not exactly a really epic rant. I could rant on a couple of other things, but I don't really consider myself a rantish type of person. Let's see. But Playland overall, I mean, their ride selection wasn't totally impressive, but I mean, the park atmosphere, they're going to be getting a lot of renovations next year. It's definitely more of a family park. And the Old Mill ride was pretty fun, though. Definitely, if you go to Playland, that Old Mill ride is pretty creepy. Taylor's rants are better. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really rant that much. Are you going to Six Flags New Orleans? Not unless I want to get arrested by the city of New Orleans. Playland Wild Mouse. Yeah, usually the funny thing is that, I guess I could rant again. A lot of times when I research a coaster name, it automatically says death, because people constantly Google whether somebody died on the ride that they want to do. And it's like, really? Yeah, some people have died on roller coasters, but like your chances of dying on a roller coaster just because it looks scary doesn't mean that it's a death trap. It's no more of a death trap than your own cell phone. It's no more of a death trap than your car. It's actually much less of a death trap than your car. I actually misspoke there. Your car is a lot more of a death trap than a roller coaster is. So why must you consistently Google, oh, so-and-so death or Wild Mouse death or whatever? And like, oh my God, on YouTube, there were top 10 deaths on roller coasters. And it has like a picture of Alpengeist falling off the rails, even though that doesn't make sense. Even there's supposed to be a zero car there. It's like, why must you deceive your audience? And also, not to mention, make money off of basically saying, oh, so-and-so died in 2003. And sometimes they don't even talk about roller coasters when they do these videos. Like, oh, let's talk about a water slide. Well, this isn't a roller coaster. If it's not a roller coaster, then why are you including it on a top 10 roller coaster deaths video? Like, clearly you want that if it bleeds, it leads. That's something that I've been told because I worked at a news station. That's something that, you know, people constantly tell me, if it bleeds, it leads. People, I guess they just want carnage, and they're like, and then the comment section is like, oh my God, I'll never go on a roller coaster again. Oh no, they're so unsafe. They're so scary. No, they're not. You're just being ridiculous, because like, you can't just go online, take a look at some random YouTube video talking about 10 deaths that happened over the last 20 years when people are constantly riding roller coasters every single day. I'm pretty much sure that every single roller coaster in the country, they dispatch like over 1,000 times a day. It's just like planes. It's like, oh, you don't have a fear of flying. Okay, well, oh, people fly every day. Well, people ride roller coasters every day. It's nowhere. It's actually safer than flying, riding a roller coaster. Like, seriously, those people on YouTube, like as you call them, the GP, they just need to start thinking with their brains and not thinking with their fears. Alrighty then. You saw one of those clickbait coaster vids, and they called King's Dominion King's Domination. I mean, there is a coaster named Dominator there. Playland needs a Vekoma boomerang. That would be funny if they ended up getting Knott's boomerang. Jacob Fisher, have a good night. Coasters and carnivals at defunct parks consider coaster credits. I don't consider the ones at carnivals to be credits because I don't know how to track them. I know Sean Flaherty knows how to track them, but I don't know if I can go through all that effort to track them, especially trying to track the roller coaster that I rode when I was 10 years old at the Orange Fireman's Carnival down the street. So yeah, you're not going to see the Orange Fireman's Carnival on RCDB. It's not a permanent installation, so I don't count those as credits. And that's basically the bottom line to that. Valley Fair 2018. I'm not sure. I know they got a Star Flyer this year, but next year, yeah, it's not going to be a coaster, but I'm thinking it could be maybe like a water park expansion. I forget if Valley Fair has a water park. I haven't really researched Valley Fair that much. So they haven't announced that Excalibur is closing, so I'm guessing that it's not going to close. But we still have a month. There were injuries on the power tower there at Valley Fair. I'm just looking up this story. 41-year-old Eric Badal, I don't know, it's a French last name. He's suing SNS for the uncontrollable falling of the heavy seat carriage. Oh, he was performing maintenance on the ride. So he was actually trying to fix the ride. It's not like any of the guests went on the ride and got injured. Someone was trying to fix the ride, and the ride fell and he got injured. So I'm not sure what Valley Fair is going to get next year. Enchanted Forest in Rhode Island. Funny story. I've heard that there is a roller coaster from Enchanted Forest. Inside, I just went to Edaville, as some of you may know. I went to Edaville last week, actually a week ago from today. And there's this like Dinosaurs Alive type area, but they have like an abandoned, like defunct roller coaster there. It's just completely wrecked, and it's like used as decoration for their dinosaur exhibit. And supposedly, the park said it was from like 1989, but a lot of people speculate that that it was actually built at Enchanted Forest in Rhode Island and was moved over. They planned on opening it, but then they decided not to because they couldn't get it to work. And so I'm not really sure where it came from, but what I do know is that there's some kind of abandoned roller coaster at Edaville in their dinosaur exhibit, and it makes for some really cool photos. The SNS concepts. Yeah, SNS actually took down their concepts off of YouTube. Those videos were unlisted to begin with, so SNS didn't want the public to see them. So I think the only one left up is their family coaster model. The rest of them, I think they hid away. I know Taylor took down his video on them, so SNS probably didn't want people to see them. So that's why they took them down. Went to Great Adventure yesterday. There's a plot of land next to Zumanjaro's Q line where you could put a GCI. Yeah, I know that there used to be Rolling Thunder there. But I'm not sure if they would go for a wooden coaster right away because, I mean, they do have El Toro. And El Toro is pretty much worth like 5 GCIs. I love GCIs, but man, El Toro is a beast of its own. I know a lot of people think that it's rough. I don't think it's rough like at all. Anyway, so Togo stand-ups for the win. Oh my God. Yeah, and here's another rant. The news stations that do stories on people getting stranded on the lift hill. Really? There's a reason that people get stuck at the top of the lift hill. It's because the ride stops itself. It's part of the safety mechanisms on the ride to make sure that people don't get injured. It stops on the lift hill rather than sending people through the course and potentially something going wrong on the course. I mean, most likely there's nothing wrong, but that just goes to show how safe these roller coasters are. Stopping the train in a safe spot. Why must these news companies, these news stations, these local news stations say, new at 11, 8 people stranded on Superman the Ride for 20 minutes? Like, why? Why do these people keep making the same news stories every time a roller coaster gets stuck? And then you got the people that are being interviewed. Oh, I thought I was going to die. My life was flashing before my eyes. I was stuck on that lift hill. I thought I was going to die. Like, I don't know. It's just a never-ending cycle, I guess. It's absolutely ridiculous. The Smiler accident. Yeah, that was operational error. But yeah, El Toro is amazing. So I got a couple more questions. And yeah, I loved getting stuck on Superman the Ride. You get to see the river and you get to see the park all lit up at night. It's awesome. If you're going to get stuck on any roller coaster, get stuck on Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England. I don't know if it's going to get announced on August 16th. I wouldn't be surprised if they announced everything except RMC Mean Streak on August 16th, and then they waited until Saturday, and then they started talking about Snoopy, and people were sending their angry face emojis in Facebook. They live streamed it. They started to talk about Snoopy, and the GP would send angry faces in the live chat, and then they'd announce RMC Hurler out of nowhere. And the real kicker would be if they said there's really more coming, and then they announced RMC Mean Streak. Did I say Hurler earlier? Whatever. All right. So, yeah, if anybody could tell me where Air Grover is, that's the next trivia question out of nowhere. Remember when Top Thrill Dragster stalled? I actually don't remember. That would be pretty lucky if it managed to actually get stalled on the very top. Wow, it actually did get stuck at the top. That's crazy. That's that takes quite a lot of luck. I'm surprised there's it's probably one of the safety features, but yeah. You got stuck on Cheetah Hunt and the whole train was freaking out. One girl was crying oh my God, stop. All right, so Alex R got it. Oh, sorry. No, Coaster Central got it. Coaster Pro got it. Brett D99, Benjamin Kennedy. Yeah, Alex R got it too. Extreme Rides TV and Zach 8870. Busch Gardens, Tampa. That's where Air Grover is. Let's make for the harder questions the kid coasters because not a lot of people get them. And fun fact, that's actually the Zierer Force 190. It's actually going to be going to that Turkish park, Anka Park, which is not in Europe, by the way. It's going to be in Asia. So next question we've got here is tell me where. Yeah, there is one at Sesame Place. It's called Vapor Trail. And yeah, you'd think it'd be called Air Grover, but no, it's called Vapor Trail for some reason. And it has a picture of Grover flying a spaceship as its logo. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, and now this final one, this is a really, really tough one. Actually, it's not the final one, but the last one is even tougher. So tell me where Zach's Zoomer is. If SeaWorld Orlando builds a new ride, they will build a B&M Wing Coaster. I'm not so sure about that. They'll probably go with some kind of launch coaster. Mako was a pretty big investment. I'm not sure if Mako really got their got a ton more crowds. I think their attendance actually went down after Mako because they were still suffering from some bad PR. Oh, here we go. So we've got Dylan DeSimone, Extreme Rides TV, Brett D99 is awesome, Coaster Pro, Zach 88, Alex R. Yep, Michigan's Adventure. That's where Zach Zoomer is. And finally, I have a really, really tough question. This one, I'm going to be surprised if people get right away. Rock and Roller Coaster, but not the one in Disney. Yes, there is another Rock and Roller Coaster, but it's not the one at Disney's Hollywood Studios. If anybody can tell me where that is, and for that matter, like where it's located, like that would be pretty impressive. So Rock and Roller Coaster. The Intamin Blitz rumor for it could happen. I'd love to see one there. I initially predicted a Blitz for and it's not Paris either. It's not Paris. Yeah, this is a really tough one. Rock and Roller Coaster, like I haven't heard of this park either before I looked up this on the random coaster generator. And I'm like, really? There's another ride named Rock and Roller Coaster? And here's the kicker. It's a B&A Shift kiddie coaster, which is like super rare. Yeah, this is probably the toughest question I've asked on here. Yep, I'm looking at it right here. Rockin' Roller Coaster. ROCKIN apostrophe roller coaster. Opryland. Let me check Opryland. If they had a coaster named that too, I'd like to know, but it's not the one at Opryland. Oh, the one at Opryland is called Rock and Roll. Oh, they do have a Rock and Roller Coaster at Opryland, but that isn't the one I'm thinking of. There we go. We've got an answer. Coaster Comments, Atlantic Playland in Nova Scotia. And Elliot Earls got it too. So congratulations, Coaster Comments and Elliot Earls. Well, I did not know that there was one. Yeah, it was the reason it didn't come up on the coaster search. I checked to make sure that it wasn't two. There wasn't two rides named it, but it's spelled differently. The one in Canada is named, the one at Opryland was Rock and Roller Coaster, but the one in Nova Scotia is named Rockin' with an I in there. So yeah, that's where the discrepancy came up. So yeah, there's actually a roller coaster in Nova Scotia called Rock and Roller Coaster. I'll send the link right now. It's pretty sketchy looking. So there's the link. I just posted it in the chat. It's probably going to be delayed. Yeah, I can only imagine. It's the only coaster there, and it's one of only two roller coasters in Nova Scotia, the other one being a William Cobb wooden coaster called Roller Coaster. Pretty impressive name. Yeah, Roller Coaster. And it was actually used to be named Tree Topper, according to RCDB. And it also says it was partially built by Philadelphia Toboggan Company. But yeah, there are two roller coasters in Nova Scotia. One is a wooden coaster, and the other is this. Silver Dollar City is announcing their coaster. Yeah, August 16th. That's National Roller Coaster Day. I'm guessing that's going to be like an industry trend. So I'm going to take off from work that day so that I could report on all the news coming out. But the thing is, with all these news pieces coming out at once, I don't think that they would all get that many views because like my subscribers would be overloaded with videos. And my sister actually gave me advice on Instagram posts. Like you only do one a day, maybe two. That's because you don't want to overload your watchers with content. And so most likely on August 16th, I'll be I'll do individual videos. Like over time, like people from the different parks will view them, but I'm just not sure if like I'm going to be overloading my viewers like with a bunch of videos at one time. What's my favorite RMC? Wicked Cyclone, because I haven't read any others yet. But I'm guessing it's still going to be like at least in my top 5 by the time I have written more RMCs. It'd be like the Disney YouTube channels on YouTube. Yeah, like new Tron coaster announced, new Ratatouille ride announced in France. That new Ratatouille ride in France looks absolutely amazing. And Guardians of the Galaxy ride announced. The only frustrating thing is we don't know what the Guardians of the Galaxy ride will be. Will it be a dark ride? Will it be a roller coaster? I've heard people suggest that it's going to be a roller coaster, but I'm not sure. That would be awesome, though, if they got a Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster. Would certainly be better than Ellen's Energy Adventure. Viper removal rumor thoughts. Which Viper? Are you referring to the one at Great America? Because there are a lot of rides named Viper. Or you could be referring to the one at Darien Lake. I think Viper is like one of the most common roller coaster names on the planet. It will be an e-ticket attraction, so it will be exciting. So very good chance that it's going to be a roller coaster, because e-ticket attractions, those are the high thrill rides. The one in Magic Mountain, what's the rumors about? What's my least favorite ride at my home park? I'd have to go with Goliath. My home Six Flags park, Six Flags New England, I just rode it. It was absolutely dreadful. I would honestly never want to ride it again. Yeah, Magic Mountain Viper. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to see it removed, actually, because A, I haven't gotten the credit yet, and B, it's the only Aero Mega Looper left in the Six Flags chain. So it's still pretty historic. Like, I wouldn't mind if they took it out. I mean, from what I've heard, it's an absolutely terrible ride. But, I mean, anything could happen. Titan. Hopefully Six Flags Over Georgia gets an RMC. The park hasn't gotten a roller coaster in a while. Yeah, the last time they got a roller coaster, I believe, was Daredevil Dive. Daredevil Dive. Yeah, Six Flags Over Georgia. That was the last coaster they got. They got it in 2011, and they haven't gotten a new coaster since. What is the roughest roller coaster I've been on? Great American Scream Machine, 100%. What is so special? Once again, August 16th is National Roller Coaster Day. So, yeah. Viper is really good for an arrow. Yeah. Here's the thing. I just realized for these kind of live chats, a lot of comments tend to pop up that, you know, none of us want to see. So I'm really considering hiring moderators. Whenever I do a live stream, I'd like to hire moderators to handle like whatever kind of comments can be thrown my way. So I might make a video on that soon. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of every time you do a live stream, you got to watch out for the weird kind of comments. I've already got a few people say that they want to be moderators. A lot of messages at once. And while now I'm not really sure how to do it right now, I'll have to look for it. I'll have to look that up later. But I will make a video saying, hey, do you want to be a moderator or something like that? And I really appreciate the good comments from my loyal subscribers. I don't know how some of these other people are finding the live stream, but yeah, whatever. It happens. It's YouTube. It's the internet. It's open to everybody. Cedar Fair Coaster 2019. Who knows? Besides myself, what is my favorite coaster YouTuber? Well, I really like In the Loop. They do some really good videos. Coaster Kids, I love the message that they send. Like, I love what they do. Other than that, Coaster Force, they have some pretty good POVs. Theme Park Review, their POVs is pretty good. They're not RMC earlier, just getting rid of square wheels. Square wheels. And that would be like Benjamin Kennedy should be a mod. I would like to, as soon as I can, I will make a video about moderators for the live streams. And let me see, it is 10:34 right now. You hope RMC Mean Streak is cool. You dislike the original one. Yeah, Coaster Studios, he's pretty good too. Like, I like his, he's been on so many roller coasters as well. There's so many good channels out there that I enjoy watching. Like, it's really hard to keep track of them sometimes because, like, one of my friends says that coaster channels are, they're growing steadily. They're like going to be the next big thing. Let's see. You still pick. Yeah, there are a lot of people coming into the comments. Like, I don't know what it is about tonight. I think that it's just weird how live streams happen sometimes. How do these people get on all these rides? I'm not sure. You ship B&M and RMC. That would be interesting if B&M and RMC work together. I know RMC and Vekoma work together, Wildfire at Cool Norden. But yeah, that would be pretty interesting. RMC ever go bankrupt? I don't think so. I don't think that they will go bankrupt. I could honestly see them going around for quite some time. They know how to innovate. They know what these parks need. They provide track for other people. Yeah. Favorite wooden roller coaster? El Toro, without a doubt. Thoughts on Vortex at Kings Island? It was a jaw banger. I didn't 100% despise it, but I didn't like it either. The restraints went right up here. It just banged my jaw. It wasn't pleasant. But of course, you take my opinion with a grain of salt because I know a lot of people love Vortex, and I'm sure that if I would have gotten to ride it in the very, very front, then I probably would have liked it better. But they were assigning seats on that ride the day I went. So, yeah, that was pretty unfortunate. But yeah. Is B&M the Banshee the best invert? I don't think that Banshee is the best invert. I do. It is in my top 3, but I still think that Montu is my favorite. Do you like Maverick from Cedar Point? Oh, I haven't been to Cedar Point yet. I was actually going to go this year, and that didn't end up happening. So I'm most likely going to be going next year for the first time, and I'm super excited. As much as I'd like to go to like all these different parks, money and time are pretty tough to work around. So hopefully I will get around to going to Cedar Point next year. It's definitely my friend Michael really wants to go there. I really want to take him. It's going to be a great park. I have a good feeling that I'm going to really enjoy it there. So actually, let's see. Do you think Busch Gardens will ever RMC Gwazi? Yeah, I said this before. It could happen, but I don't think it'll happen anytime soon because they probably don't want the noise of tearing it down. You know, it's in the middle of the park. It's in an area where it could cause noise. It's been a while though. You're really hoping to go to Ohio. Ohio is nice. I've been to Kings Island, and that was really nice. Went to CoasterCon, had a great time there. And I do have a Cedar Fair Platinum Pass. Being able to afford going to Cedar Point, I could easily afford getting into the park. The issue is like you got to get flights there, and then you got to stay in an Airbnb, and then you got to take time off from work. Ohio is Jake Paul City. That's a good one. I was gonna make a joke about how at Canopy they had like this chicken tender store where it was like they had all these different kinds of chicken tenders, and I'm like was gonna make a joke about New Hampshire fried chicken, but I don't know if I could afford ticking off Jake Paul. Anyway, so what do I think about the Intimate Blitz rumor for California's Great America or Not? Intimate Blitz, if they're going to go with anything from Intimate, a Blitz is certainly the most likely. But I'm trying to convince my parents to get a platinum pass. My sister goes to college near CGA, so that would also work. You don't have to go Airbnb for Cedar Point since Hotel Breakers. Yeah, I've also heard that. Like Hotel Breakers, it's very affordable, especially when you go with someone else, and you get early access into the park, which is pretty awesome. You're going to SeaWorld Orlando in February. Yeah, have a great time. Just be aware that because it's in a year-round park, some of the rides might be getting refurbished. So always check the refurbishment schedule before you go to a theme park, especially if it's in Florida. Because I know that SheiKra was down for a month like this year. They had to do annual maintenance on it. I can imagine a lot of people were really disappointed. Sand Serpent was down for a while earlier this year. Not sure if it's open right now. I'd have to check on that. But yeah, always be aware of what rides are open and what rides aren't, and go when you think when the rides are going to be open. All right, so let's see. Oh, I got a message. Next coaster at Carowinds. I strongly think that if Carowinds is going to get another coaster, it'll be something, if they could make a high capacity launch coaster, or if they could get that twisted looper, like it's a combination of a B&M wing coaster and a super loop, but it's launched and it's actually a coaster. That would be pretty awesome if they could get one of those at Carowinds, because Fury 325, that is like their A-list attraction. I highly doubt that they could ever top that with any kind of addition that they could bring to Carowinds, because Fury 325, it's like, it is my favorite coaster. I mean, it's like really hard to beat. And a lot of people think that Carowinds is going to convert Vortex next year, and I do think that's possible. It would be a sound addition. But considering that they took out their Flume ride, I'm not sure if they're going to put something in that part. Of course, that could be for 2019, and we could be seeing a Vortex to floorless conversion next year. So really, we just have to wait until August 16th when all the parks make their announcements. And I'm really excited to be doing another Cedar Fair announcements video, because last year when I did my Cedar Fair announcements video, it was pretty fun. I got to do like the effect of all the announcements, like zooming in and like the little drum roll. I plan on doing it again this year. But yeah, RMC Outlaw Run clone at Carowinds. Yeah. Have I rode Lightning Rod? I did not ride Lightning Rod, but it's like one of my top desired coasters. Like it's definitely a bucket list ride, Lightning Rod. Same thing with like Dodonpa. It's up there, Lightning Rod. I hope I'm not like overhyping it, but I've heard it's like an incredible ride. You don't like Magnum XL 200. Well, the thing about Magnum XL 200, it is a mixed bag among newer enthusiasts. Like if I rode it and I compared it to something like a B&M Hyper, I probably wouldn't like it. But as a historical aerodynamics coaster, it does provide a lot of airtime. It did so much for the roller coaster industry. It revolutionized roller coasters. But for its historical significance alone, I think that is why so many people love Magnum XL 200. And as for Ziz at Canada's Wonderland, that would be, honestly, I know that Ziz fits in with Behemoth and Leviathan, but I mean, that isn't a really marketable name, Ziz. It sounds like Zitz. Oh, hey, let's go on the Ziz. I don't know if I could see people saying that, because Behemoth and Leviathan, those are like, the GP recognizes those as like intimidating names, but Ziz, I'm not so sure about that one. Devontae Whitehead, you have a question. And Coaster Extreme, have fun at Worlds of Fun. Heck the ride. Heck. All right. You want to ride the Beast. I highly recommend riding the Beast because the Beast is an incredible wooden coaster. It's like definitely one of the best out there. What is my opinion on Intimidator 305? It looks like an amazing Giga coaster. Like it's got that like steep drop. It goes right into the turnaround. It looks like one of the most intense things out there. And Professor Rowlett, you're going to ride Fury 325 soon. Do I have any info about it? Yes, I do. It is an incredible ride. Definitely ride it in the front. And it is an exciting attraction. Oh, I just realized the air conditioning is not on. And it is still super hot. Connecticut sun, it can get pretty brutal. And the heat could linger around at night. So it is still pretty hot out. So I'm checking the time. It is 10:45. And Sean Flaherty, Sean Flaherty. Sean Flaherty, welcome to the chat. You have never grayed out. Oh, I've grayed out. I actually grayed out on Backlot Stunt Coaster. Yeah, I'm going to admit that. I blacked out on Backlot Stunt Coaster. I know it's kind of hard to believe, but that it goes right from the launch into the first turn, and it's pretty crazy. Is it true they're making another Son of Beast? Nah, I don't think that's going to happen. Not after the first Son of Beast. Which is the worst, Wild Beast or its cousin Grizzly? I'm not sure. What was my hardest gray out? I'd say maybe at the bottom of Fury's first drop. Honestly, I think I blacked out at the bottom of Fury's drop. Sorry for getting here so late in New Orleans for work. Yeah, no problem, Sean. Whenever you get in here, you can get in here. I'm not sure how much longer this stream is going to go on because I do have to go to bed a bit early. Tomorrow is my meetup at Lake Compound, so that's pretty exciting. Do you ever... Yeah, I've ridden Diamondback, and it is an incredible ride. Elliot Earls, you've never grayed out. I would say he's a legend. He did ride XLC, and pretty much I don't think anybody in this chat, I mean, if you've ridden the Hypersonic XLC, let me know. But I have a hard time finding people that have actually gotten a chance to ride that. Beauty and the Beast. What if Intamin RMC or Gravity Group rebuilt Son of Beast? Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, if they could manage to build a 200-foot coaster, that'd be pretty impressive. But so far, I'm not sure if they're going to want to try to do that again, especially after the failed the first time. Mako or Diamondback? I'd go with Diamondback. I did like it more. I thought it had a faster pace. Mako is amazing too, though. Like, it goes over the water. It's beautiful to look at. Yeah. So have I done trivia? Yeah, I've done trivia, but yeah. You're going to Six Flags Great America tomorrow. Nice. Yeah, have a good time there. Check out Whizzer. Definitely check out Raging Bull. Check out Goliath, 100%. Got to check out Goliath. That's like one of my top parks that I want to visit, Great America. Do I think yeah, I think that RMC Mean Streak will be over 200 feet. You thought Nitro was better than Mako from me? Yeah, it's back and forth. Like at the time that I rode Mako, I wasn't sure which was better. I was kind of leaning towards Nitro, but then I rode Nitro again in the winter. And I realized that the layout, I did kind of prefer Nitro's layout, but it's really complicated. Like Nitro and Mako were very neck and neck for me. Flight of Fears. I blacked out on Batman the Ride. Yeah, I actually blacked out on one of the turns. But yeah, you never know which rides you're going to black out on. It just kind of happens, I guess. Favorite B&M Hyper? Diamondback, definitely. Cancel tomorrow's meet. Don't worry, I will have more meetups. Even if you can't go tomorrow, that's no problem. I will have more meetups, and I will post about them on YouTube. I have not ridden the Kentucky Rumbler yet. I was actually, I think, in Kentucky. Like, the airport was like pretty much on the border of Ohio and Kentucky. I actually had to go into Kentucky to get to the airport when I went to Kings Island. But I have not been to any Kentucky parks yet, but I'm really hoping to go soon. Best kiddie coaster. That's a tough one. I can't really decide. Probably Lucy's Krabby Cabby. It had the best layout of a kiddie coaster. Let's see. When will I stream the meetup? I might not. It depends on what happens. It might rain. It might not rain tomorrow. I'm not sure. I haven't really checked the weather lately. When I ride I-305, don't drink too much water before you ride it, and take deep breaths or you'll black out. Oh yeah, I am so pumped up for I-305. It's just wow. I mean, just looking at a picture of that gives you a great idea of what the ride experience will be like. Timberline Twister is the best kiddie coaster. I haven't actually ridden that yet, so I'd like to check that out. Going to Canada soon. If I do go to Canada, I'd love to hit up Marineland and check out Dragon Mountain. And of course, I'd love to check out Canada's Wonderland, do Leviathan and Behemoth. Canada, I've always wanted to see what it's like there. And I don't think I would go to La Ronde only because there's not a lot in terms of like A-list attractions there. And I've also heard it's not exactly the best Six Flags park, but still it's a park experience. It's on the water. It probably looks really nice. But who knows? And the only reason I know a lot of people are telling me that Marineland isn't really a great park either, but Marineland is like on the way to Canada's Wonderland. So if you drive out of Buffalo, you go past Niagara Falls. Yeah, you drive right by it. I-305, both versions nearly blacked you out. Oh, nice. Actually, yeah, I don't think I know a lot about the previous version. I'm not sure if it was faster because I know that they had to modify that first turn because people were like seriously blacking out on the bottom of that hill. You rode in Vader with Taylor. La Ronde is a bigger Mount Olympus. That's a good one because like I know they closed Cobra and I know that Monster is having issues. I'm not. Oh, Harry, you're going to Lake Compounds tomorrow. Yeah, I hope I bump into you too. Let me know when there's other people who would like to meet up. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I could actually. I'm actually really excited to check out Invader when I go to Busch Gardens Williamsburg next year. Because like even though it's not like the most intense wooden coaster out there, it's still a GCI, and I love me a good GCI. Like White Lightning, that wasn't like the biggest GCI out there either, but I had a lot of fun on it. Please come to California's Great American Meetup. Oh, that's another place I really want to go. I really want to head to Northern California, do Gilroy Gardens, California's Great America, Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, and Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. There's a lot up there. Like California, there's so much to do. It doesn't really matter where you are. Anybody heading to Busch Gardens Tampa? Hopefully I'll head to Busch Gardens Tampa next year because I'm wondering how much time I'll have. It depends on what kind of, like if I get a new job or if I have to travel somewhere else. I'll let you all know about my travel plans once I make them. Spaland feels like Cedar Point to me, a lot like Cedar Point. Wow, I've actually never been to Nagashima Spaland. One of the rides there I know is the only Morgan Giga Coaster, Steel Dragon 2000. And that's like one of my bucket list coasters. That's the only Giga coaster that's not in North America. Have I been to Kennywood? No, I haven't. I was going to go this year, but then I decided not to. Unfortunately, I heard that at today's KennyCon event, it was pretty rainy out. It does tend to rain like at this time of year in Pittsburgh. I'd like to see what they're getting next year. I might go there then, but we'd have to wait and see. Didn't get to ride Steel Dragon. Oh, well, that's too bad. Do you think you can go to Six Flags Fiesta Texas in 2018? Oh, that was like, that's another place I'd love to go to, San Antonio. They've got so much there too. I'm curious of what they're getting next year, because then if they get yet another roller coaster, that would be yet another reason for me to go to San Antonio. And also ZDTs, which is like an hour away from the city. That would be pretty cool. What was my first coaster? Big Thunder Mountain at Disney World. I prefer Batman or Superman at Six Flags New England. Definitely Superman. Definitely Superman. Batman's a good floorless, but Superman is definitely it's my favorite coaster at the park. I think I'm going to answer a couple more questions. It's just about reaching 11. Go watch an off ride of the original Rattler and be amazed at the structural stability of that thing. Wow, I can only imagine. Like, I saw the structure of the Rattler, and I could tell, yep, that's Roller Coaster Corporation of America. I could tell by the structure. I'm surprised they were able to convert it to an RMC. It didn't look like the most stable coaster out there. And I've heard it was pretty rough back then. Who wants to say as much words as they could say? You have to go as well. Talk to you later. Yeah, I'll talk to you later too, Sean. I think I'm actually going to close out for the night because I do have to get to bed early. I have a meetup tomorrow and, you know, but it was nice having you all on. Definitely next time I'd like to get a couple of moderators because some of the comments I got tonight were pretty, like, you love the video today, do more from, and yes, I will do more former coasters videos, Kathy Christian. So everybody, thank you all for coming. I'm going to sign off for now and have a wonderful night. And I'll be in the chat for a little bit to maybe answer a couple more questions.